"We're drowning out here," Captain Jonas Ward's voice tore through the comms, broken by thunder and static. 8 SEAL operators Ghost Platoon were pinned on the deck of an oil rig in the mid-Atlantic. Tracer fire carving sparks off steel catwalks as the storm howled like a living beast. Waves hammered the rig's pylons, salt spray mixing with smoke from burning fuel drums. Ghost Platoon had nowhere to run above. A helicopter gunship circled like a vulture, while armed speedboats strafed the supports with heavy fire. Each burst rattled the platform beneath their boots. "Where the hell is our cover?" Ward roared, ducking as rounds punched through steel inches above his head, 12 kilometers away. Inside NATO's storm-lashed outpost Sentinel Atlantic, Captain Mara Vale sat frozen before a wall of fractured displays. Blue icons marked Ghost Platoon boxed in on the rig. Red markers swarmed from every direction. Operators shouted into radios. Desperate, negative assets. Storm grounding all air ISR down. Nothing for 2 hours. Ward's bitter laugh cut back through static. 2 hours. We won't last 20 minutes. Mara's hands hovered over a steel drawer bolted beneath her console. For 5 years she had kept it locked. To be invisible, to let the world believe the lie that she had died in Operation Iron Dagger. But as RPG fire lit the deck and Ghost Platoon's voices bled with panic, her trembling stopped, her breathing steadied. Her fingers found cold alloy, a case unmarked except for a phantom sigil etched into steel. Inside lay a CheyTac M3000 408, its desert frame scarred from wars no one admitted had happened. Once, they had called her Shadowhawk, and ghosts don't stay buried. Outside, the Atlantic storm hammered Sentinel in sheets of rain. Lightning forked across black skies, briefly revealing the rig. Mara rose, the case slung across her back, her face hidden beneath the storm mask she had buried with the weapon. A young operator glanced up. "Where's Vale going with that gear?" Colonel Arden Locke looked up from the ops table. His eyes caught the phantom ink on her wrist. For a moment, he looked as though he'd seen an apparition. Then he gave the faintest nod. "I'll handle the questions. She'll handle the problem." Mara didn't stop. The blast door slammed behind her, swallowed by storm. The rig loomed in lightning silhouette. Mara crouched on a supply boat's hull, snapping the CheyTac together piece by piece. Spectre-link optics hummed to life, cutting through spray, locking onto heat even through steel. She pulled the ghillie veil across her mask. To the world. She vanished. On the rig. Captain Ward's last call cracked through static. "Ghost Platoon is out of time. Does anyone hear us?" Mara keyed the net. Her voice low, steady, cold as the storm. "Ghost Platoon. This is Shadowhawk. Stand by for fire support." The net went silent. Even the thunder paused. The Atlantic storm clawed at the rig, rain lashing sideways, steel groaning under stress. Mara Vale crawled across the soaked hull of a maintenance barge. The CheyTac M3000 snugged to her grip. Waves slammed. Spray struck her mask, but she moved like she belonged to the chaos low, precise, a ghost riding the storm. Above, the gunship's searchlight swept the rig, pinning Ghost Platoon against catwalks. Ward's voice cracked. "Reaper 4 is hit. We can't hold this platform." Mara crouched, rifle steady against a mooring post. Spectre-link optics sliced through mist, turning the storm into gradients of heat. Red silhouettes glowed along the rig, mercenaries advancing in disciplined lines. On the water, 2 speedboats circled, heavy machine guns mounted. She exhaled. The reticle found the first gunner. The rifle thundered. The .408 round tore through steel plating, detonating the gunner's chest. The boat veered, slamming into a pylon. Flames licked upward, smothered by rain. Ghost Platoon's comms went silent, then a whisper. Shadowhawk Ward snapped back, raw with disbelief. "Impossible! She died in Iron Dagger. Everyone knows wrong." Mara cut in coldly. "On my mark, suppress the south catwalk. 3, 2, 1. Ghost Platoon obeyed. 8 rifles erupted. Muzzle flashes devoured by storm. Mercenaries ducked. That was her opening. Second shot, squad leader down. Radio tumbling into the sea. Third, a breacher mid-ladder fell back into steel. Fourth, a machine gunner on the helipad screamed, weapon clattering away. Each crack of her rifle was thunder folded inside thunder. Jesus Christ, Lieutenant Riker muttered. She's cutting them apart. Whoever you are, Ward growled. Keep shooting. I intend to... Mara slid along rain-slick steel. 7 more hostiles advanced in staggered line professional. Not raiders. Her crosshairs found the radio man third from the left. She squeezed. He folded, his radio sparking. Confusion rippled. Ghost platoon surged firepower, pinning survivors. Mara cut down 2 more, clean and surgical. The ambush dissolved. Survivors scattered into shadows, cohesion broken. Inside comms, disbelief reigned. Then explain the bodies, Mara said, voice low. Before anyone could answer, a new voice bled through static older, accented, calm as stone. I know you hear me. Shooter. My name is Kasimir Volkov. They call me the Jackal. Perhaps you've heard of me. Mara's blood chilled. Volkov, ex-Spetsnaz. A sniper whispered about from Grozny to Mosul. A man who never missed twice. If you're here, she muttered. This isn't random. Volkov's chuckle rolled across the storm, low and amused. $5 million to drown your seals here, worth every cent, if it means I face the ghost they call Shadowhawk. Through her scope. Mara swept beams and towers. Heat blurred, but one shadow moved differently. Patient, calculating, predator had found predator. The storm screamed over the rig, waves battering its pylons like war drums. Mara Vale pressed against slick plating, CheyTac M3000 tight to her shoulder, through Spectre-Link optics. The world was heat and shadows, mercenaries sweeping the catwalks. She ignored them. She hunted one, Kasimir Volkov, the Jackal. His voice slid through the net, smooth, mocking. You mask your breathing well, Shadowhawk. Properly taught. But tell me, do they still teach the walking technique at Bragg? Or did it die with you? Her jaw clenched. He was probing and fishing in the right pond. She switched channels. Ghost platoon ladder to the broken helipad, bound in pairs. Move. Through her scope. She tracked them sprinting across open deck, lightning strobing their bodies like ghosts. 15 seconds of exposure, more than enough time for a predator. The flash came from the east tower. Volkov's shot. Mara's finger was already squeezing. Her bullet screamed into the storm, mid-air. Steel struck steel, 2 rounds colliding, sparking, vanishing into rain just inches from Riker's head. The comms erupted. Mother of God. Someone gasped. Volkov's chuckle came back. Reverent now. You didn't just, magnifique. It is you. Mara slid into a new angle, belly scraping rust, veil soaked heavy. Her voice cut through static, cold and final. This ends with you, Jackal. Volkov's tone hardened. Professional courtesy. I've given my name, now give me yours. Who are you? Really? She hesitated. Lies were for people who planned to live through them. She had no such illusions. Once, she said. They called me Shadowhawk. Even thunder hushed. No, Volkov whispered. Shadowhawk died in Iron Dagger. Confirmed by NATO. Confirmed by CIA. The CIA confirms a lot of things, Mara replied. Doesn't make them true. Prove it. He hissed. The real Shadowhawk had a signature. Show me. Her scope swept the deck. 5 mercenaries spread in overlapping arcs. Training had once called it the Phantom Sweep. 5 kills, 5 positions, 5 seconds, more than marksmanship. It was legend. You wanted a signature. Jackal, she muttered. Here it is. She inhaled. Exhaled. The storm faded. The world narrowed to crosshairs and breath. First shot flanker collapsed. Slide. Metal grinding her suit. Second shot machine gunner crumpled. Roll, snap. Target 3 down. Sprint 10 meters. Drop fourth man silenced. Pivot fifth radio man fell. Radio sparking. 5 shots, 5 kills, 5 seconds. Silence, only storm and the ragged breath of men who live to watch others die. Volkov's voice returned. Low, almost reverent. Mon Dieu. It really is you, the ghost they buried. Mara chambered her next round, eyes scanning for his shadow. A grim smile curled beneath her mask. Then you know how this ends. Lightning ripped the sky. 2 predators locked scopes. Only one ghost would walk away. The rig screamed under the Atlantic storm, waves battering pylons like war drums. Mara Vale pressed flat against slick steel, the CheyTac snugged to her shoulder, optics alive with dancing heat. Somewhere across the storm-lashed superstructure, Kasimir Volkov the Jackal was hunting her, same as she was hunting him. His voice slid into the tactical net. Calm as ice, professional to professional. Shadowhawk. How many names on your ledger, how many ghosts in your wake? She tracked 2 mercenaries crawling along a lower catwalk. One shot erased the first, a second finished the second. Her reply was flat. Enough to know this ends one of 2 ways. You walk away, or you don't walk at all. The Jackal chuckled. Low and genuine. Then we are alike. They paid me $5 million to drown your seals here. But for me, it was never the money. It is the hunt. Her optics flickered, faint heat moved across the crane towers, 300 meters off. Blending with cooling steel. Smart, experienced. A predator in his element. She drew a bead, inhale, hold. Exhale. A shot smashed sparks from the girder inches from her cheek. She rolled, cursing. He had baited her, leaking just enough heat to pull her eye, close. His voice purred, but not close enough. Mara crawled sideways, lungs burning with grit. She pressed into the shadow of a stairwell, whispering into comms, stay alive. Move when I say. Lightning split the sky. For a heartbeat, she saw him prone along the crane boom, rifle steady. Heat merged with steel. Apex predator. She whispered the ritual. In through the nose, out through the mouth. The CheyTac roared. Her first round punched through a pipe 6 inches above him. He rolled instantly straight into the path of her second shot. The round slammed into his shoulder, spinning him onto his back. His rifle clattered off the catwalk into the storm below. Volkov grunted, voice ragged but tinged with admiration. Très bien. You anticipated the roll. He fumbled for a sidearm. Mara's next shot shattered it from his hand. Taking 2 fingers with it, he howled, clutching his ruined hand. Wait! His voice cracked. You had the kill shot. Why let me live? Mara's tone cut like steel. Because dead jackals don't scatter their pack. Crawl back, and your masters will burn channels to pull you out. I want the network, not just your name. A beat of silence. Then his laugh came broken, but real. Then you hunt the leash. Not the dog. Clever. Her crosshairs stayed on him. Tell whoever hired you this rig belongs to me now. Any hunter who comes here leaves in a body bag. Dozens of new heat signatures surged up the stairwells and decks reinforcements. A full platoon. Heavy weapons bristled, their lines perfect. Confident in numbers, Mara's lips curled in a grim smile. Ghost platoon, stay low. This is about to get loud. The CheyTac thundered. Radios shattered. RPG gunners folded. Machine guns went silent. Order dissolved into chaos. Somewhere above, bleeding and broken. The Jackal listened as his mercenary platoon collapsed under the fury of a ghost. The rig shook with thunder not born of sky but of rifles. Mara worked the CheyTac like it was part of her body, every squeeze, every adjustment, as natural as breath. Squad leaders dropped, radios sparked. RPGs fell silent before launch. The mercenary platoon dissolved into chaos. Jesus Christ! She's cutting them apart, Riker shouted. She's dead, Ward muttered. Shadowhawk died 5 years ago. Dead people don't answer SOS calls. Mara cut in. Now move! Extraction window north crane ladder. Go ghost platoon bounded in pairs, trusting the phantom voice. Above. Rotor thunder broke the storm. Colonel Locke had called in favors and gotten them. Birds inbound. Mara confirmed. Shifting deeper into shadow. Ward's voice came back, awe heavy. Shadowhawk, if that's really you, why now? She didn't answer. Some truths cut too deep. The storm masked her repositioning. But then a voice came close. Hands where I can see them. 3 silhouettes emerged from rain and sparks. Rifles leveled, black tactical gear. No insignia. Directorate Security Division Langley's cleaners. You've been operating without authorization for 5 years. The leader barked. That ends tonight. Mara raised her hands slowly, mask hiding her faint smile. Does it above. Helicopter spotlights slashed across the rig. Door gunners leaned out. M240s trained. Colonel Locke's voice boomed over loudspeakers' directorate team. Stand down. You are in violation of operational security protocols. The agents faltered. Their leader's jaw tightened. This isn't over, he hissed. No, Mara said softly, lowering her hands. It never is. By the time they blinked, she was gone, storm and steel swallowing her like smoke. 6 months later, at Outpost Sentinel, Atlantic. Mara sat behind her desk, uniform plain, typing supply reports. To others she was still invisible. Only a single coin betrayed her truth NATO crest on one side, a phantom's mask on the other. Outside, Ghost Platoon prepped for another mission. They had requested Sentinel as staging ground. The reason was unspoken, but clear. They wanted their ghost close. Colonel Locke entered, setting a folder on her desk. Inside, satellite imagery of a fortified compound, guard towers, hardened bunkers. At its heart, a structure she recognized instantly. Same design as Iron Dagger. Locke said quietly. Same architects. Delta wants Overwatch. Specifically you. Her eyes lingered on the photos, then on the drawer that held 11 pictures. 11 ghosts who had fallen in Iron Dagger. Tell Delta I'll be there, she said. But I go in dark. An alarm klaxon split the outpost. All units, troops in contact. Grid 97 Alpha. Mara grabbed the CheyTac case, moving for the door. At the threshold, she paused. Storm rattling the walls outside. She looked back at Locke, eyes cold as the Atlantic night. Someone needs help. That's what ghosts do. Colonel, we answer when no one else can. The storm swallowed her across the rig's skeleton, lightning painting her silhouette one last time before she vanished. The mission ended, but the myth refused to die.